Well, I guess it's true what the dead man said. Never say never. Let's see if I can still get this down right. Hey yo, what's up, my beloved hashtag champions fam? It's the bad guy, Zeke 4-0, back with a brand new WWE Champions video. And it has been a while since my last one. My apologies for the abrupt departure, but I always said in the past, priorities before pleasure. First and foremost, before I am a content creator, I am a father. And now, thanks to putting in some hard work, I am officially a manager at my job. So to God be the glory and praises due to the Most High. I am grateful that things are working out because I always feel if you are not growing, well, you are simply getting closer and closer to being 6 feet under. And quite frankly, that is not what is needed from me at this point in time. However, I was moved by a video that I saw earlier from my broski Merrick's showing love to a very classic Western film, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Wah, wah, wah. Shout out to Blondie and Tuco as well as Angel Eyes, because if you know, you know. Now, we're going to go ahead and dive right on in because we are nearing the conclusion of the May Melee MLC. We've seen a lot of things happen since my departure, but I'm going to get right to the meat and potatoes of what's been going down, y'all, because I'm going to just be real right now. I can't take away from what all the incredible content creators have done in my absence. I am not here to fill their shoes. Neither are they here to fill mine. I have my lane just like they all have theirs. But I am going to talk about something. First and foremost, Dominic Mysterio. Let's get right to it. This MLC had me hyped for one thing. One thing only. Because when I looked at the blog website and saw my man Braun Breaker on there, I was like, oh yeah, my boy Braun Breaker's going to be the MLC Chase champion, 2-time NXT champion. Come on now, true monster powerhouse. We even seen the Steiner brothers get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Braun Breaker has to be the MLC Chase champion. Beat them at their best. Powerhouse, modern era NXT golden brand representative. But no, that did not happen. Instead, Dominic Mysterio, modern era acrobat, was chosen to be the Chase. Now, I have nothing against Dominic. I don't have nothing against any wrestler for the simple fact that what they have done, what they put their bodies through for our entertainment alone, I truly salute thee. I am never going to take anything away from them. And especially with all the releases that we have seen in my absence, I simply applaud what any man or woman chooses to do because it is their passion and they do what they feel is needed to entertain us. They put their bodies on the line so we don't have to. But there is a problem with what went down with this MLC. Now, allow me to break it down to you. Allow me to properly break it down for you all so you can properly understand where I'm coming from. In past videos, I've spoken about I love and I would love the idea of releasing weekend mega superstar champions that help beef up either the MLC free-to-play champion or MLC Chase champion. One or the other, maybe even both. Sometimes you get that. I remember when we had Harlem Heat United, we had Powerhouse Booker T. We also had Stacy Keibler, and alongside them, we also saw Stevie Ray. And basically, to put it into terms, the trainer and coaching abilities from these characters helped one another in one sense or the other. That was a good look. The problem with the layout for this MLC when it pertains to Dominic Mysterio being the Chase, well, first and foremost, I was a little taken back with Dominic being the Chase champion for the simple fact that I felt that Braun Breaker would have made more sense as the Chase champion. Two-time NXT champion, okay? He's coming from the Steiner lineage the same way Dominic's coming from the Mysterio lineage. I understand. But Dominic was a tag team champion. Braun Breaker is a two-time NXT champion. I feel being an NXT champion should bolster some weight when you're coming into the game. That is higher than being a tag team champion. And that's nothing against Dominic. He's still young, he's still green, he has a lot of time to develop. But it was the layout that they decided to do when it pertains to Dominic. Now, I'm going to be real with all of you here because this is quite frankly one of those things where I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed because I expected better. I expected WWE champions to go about this a different way. Because Dominic is a character that a lot of us, let's be real, when we saw the gameplay, we were salty. I can only speak for myself. I was salty. I was not pleased about this. I'm like, I've been gone for X amount of months, and I decided to come back for this MLC. I decided to show up for this one. I decided to show up for this underwhelming unit of a character. Now, this is where I'm going to go back and break things down to you a little further. The reason why I always like the idea of the weekend characters helping benefit either the free-to-play or Chase champion is because it makes sense. They tie in together. Whether I'm the kind of guy where if you're going to lay something out, the characters that are released should make sense to the character. Now, for instance, if you had Chavo Guerrero, Vicky Guerrero, if you had those characters introduced into the game, if you had, let's say, Chavo Guerrero Sr., if you had someone like, for instance, Conan come into the game, if you had someone like Psychosis come into the game, Lucha Libre, pushing forward the Latin agenda within the game, bringing more Latino wrestlers into the game, I could have understood it. I would have been behind it. I like those kind of things. Just like when, February comes around. Okay, I get it. It could easily be a anniversary MLC, or you could go ahead and go the route of Black History Month. You could easily roll out a bunch of characters there to represent that moment. With Dominic's release, it had me confused because I'm down for the idea of releasing characters that help bolster the featured character of the month. But I didn't like this layout because they basically said, hey, if you're going after Dominic, we know that we're releasing him as a very underwhelming Chase champion. But instead of reworking him like we've done characters in the past, with Showboat, APA, Bradshaw, we dropped the video, we dropped the content, we saw all the negative reactions to it. So before the contest went live, we fixed him. We fixed him and made him a monster. They didn't do that route. Instead, they decided we're going to go and stick to our guns. We're going to release him like this. I know a lot of people, I've seen a lot of comments throughout that supported what I was saying in different videos where I literally felt Braun Breaker should have been the Chase champion. He should have been Dominic with how underwhelming he was. If you had said Dominic was the free-to-play, you would have saved a lot of people headache because then people would have gotten it. The free-to-play unit isn't supposed to be as busted or as broken as the Chase champion. We get it. Dominic sucks. We'll make do. The perks will help him be good for the MLC. And then afterwards, we just put him to the side. And we're good. We understand, Scopely. Cool. Braun's the Chase. Dominic is the free-to-play. Instead, that is not the reality of that we're living in right now. Instead, what we had happen is Braun is going to be the free-to-play. He's going to be an RNG, random gem-generating monster. And Dominic is going to be Dominic. This is what also got me. Again, like I just mentioned, Showboat Bradshaw was one of the most recent ideas that got me. Or better yet, RVD Acrobat. We got a new RVD RA Striker, the whole dang show. And then you got Mr. Pay-Per-View Acrobat. He got reworked, and he is a very fun and solid character. I know my girl Goldie was happy to get that rework, let alone pick up Striker RVD. They could have reworked Dom. They didn't. Instead, they decided to go with my idea that I've mentioned. They decided to release characters every single weekend, and each character makes Dominic better. The problem is that RNG is RNG. Now, they dropped some characters that would make you sit back and be like, oh my goodness, this is going to be very fascinating, because they didn't tie into Dominic whatsoever. We got Tech Becky. We got the baddest. My apologies. We got Tech Ronda, the baddest chick on the planet. Was looking for a new Ronda card. It made sense because now she's back. Spoilers. We got Big Time Bex, Trickster, who then ended up being turned into the GOAT for whatever reason. I guess Big Time Bex was already copywritten, so they went with the GOAT, greatest of all time, instead. And we just got Hall of Fame technician Snoop Dogg. None of these characters tie into Dominic whatsoever. And again, I know that we've had MLCs in the past where it was like, hey, they don't always have to make sense. But they've proven that they can do this. They've proven, okay? When Hall of Fame Lawler came out, what did they do? They released a bunch of Hall of Fame units, okay? When we had the Noe Maivia homage with Sika and Afa, all right? When we had that, we had a lineup of solid characters that tied into the family. High Chief Peter Maivia, okay? We had the most electrifying man in sports entertainment play a role in that. We had Soul Man, Rocky Johnson, finally coming to the game. They can make it work. But this was a blatant, you want Dom? You're going to get him. But this was what bothered me. Right out of the gate, to sell a $200 skill plate. And now it's just been re-released again at $100. The problem is that as much as I saw, and as much as I want to feel sorry and feel empathy for the community is also its worst enemy. Because this is real talk. The spin ban that happened a while ago, ages ago, so it seems, was a legitimate time where everyone stood together. And you could point the finger at a certain faction, certain people. But the truth is this, y'all. You want a company to take you serious, you stop spending. It isn't a thing you saying you stop spending and I'm going to go from spending $1,000+ per weekend to only $100 per weekend. It doesn't matter how much you spend. The point is that you spent. And I'm confident in the fact that there's somebody out there that spent money on the catch-up packets, the packs to get shards for Dom. I'm confident there's people that spent $200. As much as they complained about it costing $200, they still went ahead and bought the skill plate. Okay, the reverse honky tonk blues. Okay, there's no way around it. We as humans are programmed in a way that we are our worst enemies at times, y'all. As much as you want to bash Scopely for the layout of it, the point is, did you spend to get Ronda? Yes, you did. Did you spend to get Becky? Yes, you did. Did you spend to get Snoop Dogg? Even when you didn't have to. I'm pretty sure a lot of you did. So no matter how much you want to complain about Scopely, we as a community enable them to do it. So when a gentleman like Davey D, who's now a game developer, breaks stuff down to you, When you got somebody like Merrick's who has learned to properly articulate his words so he doesn't get kicked out of the content creator group to represent the community's point of view, and you still go and do what is causing this sick cycle to go, I can't feel sorry for anybody. Because I have fellow faction mates who have literally said they see this game like Pokemon. You got to catch them all. They want to collect every single character. And there's nothing against that. But in certain times, what we've learned is this. What's released today will be released later on again. We don't get breaks on the loot the way other games do. Dokkan Battle can have a whole month where STR, Goku, and Gohan are up. AGL Transforming Cell is up. Those are the only two banners you have to pull on for an entire month. And if not an entire month, a couple weeks. You focus in on that. WWE Champions knows, Scopely knows, that each week we'll drop a banner that for the featured characters for the tours of that week. And then we'll throw in a couple cash banners because we know you want RK Bro to be together. We know you want Omos. We know that you want this Hall of Fame character. And the cycle continues. You can't really, even if you say that you stop spending to go after Dominic, you still spent somewhere else. Because they know what you're going to do. Oh, I'm not getting Becky for Dominic. I'm getting Becky because I like Becky. I'm not getting Ronda for Dominic. I'm getting Ronda because I like Ronda. The cycle will always continue. It's never going to end. And it doesn't matter if people go through, I've seen on servers people saying, you know what, after this month, I'm going to fall back. They've already made their money. With the spring outbreak event, they made their money. We as humans, male and female, have to learn to take accountability. As much as you want to despise Scopely, as much as I am disappointed at how they decided to go with Dominic, we're the ones that allow it. We're the ones that allow it. There's no way around it. It breaks my heart. It makes me a little but at the same time, I'm cool with it. Because you know what? I've gotten to a point in the game where I got characters in my roster where I don't have to pull anymore. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us are there. I've learned the pull on banners, and I've said it in the past, and I'm saying it now. Pull on the banners for characters that you genuinely like. Because sometimes when you go for a character that you like, even if you don't get them, you might pick up somebody else that helps you out in the long run. For instance, I'm going to show you my roster right now, just because. I've got a lot more of a goal of 5-star goals now. I'm even hearing words of the 6 stars. I'm telling you right now. I thought that 5-star goals would kill the game. If you bring in 6 stars, looking at the cost that it takes to take up different characters, I'm telling you right now, it's going to kill the game. The resources aren't there. The resources are not there for 6 stars. And Scopely isn't going to budge on it. They've come up with different packs and stuff when it comes to the portal, let alone the trivia massacre that we've seen. I don't even need to cover the trivia. It's too much of a good thing turned into a bad thing. Quite frankly, you can't even be mad at what Scopely decided to do. Am I disgusted at how they decided to rebalance it? Yes, I am. But come on now. Too many people were making off good on trivia for them not to mess with it. Farmageddon, you had a little window to go ahead and get a couple things in, make a couple power moves, and dip out. Okay? The NWO, the Outsiders loot, the gear loot with Hall and Nash, where at 3 p.m. Eastern time, people hopped in and just bum rushed it so fast, and everybody was pulling a 4-star Nash with his gear, Hall with his gear, so on and so forth. The one loot where the Fiend was a big deal, and people were pulling him left and right at a high star level alongside his gear. There's certain times where you can capitalize and get in and get out because of the short window there is. Trivia, on the other hand, People were literally farming that left and right. You can't be mad. It was inevitable. You should known that people that are literally paid at Scopely to pay attention to what us players do. Shouldn't be surprised. Shouldn't have been surprised at all. But that's done. But when it comes to the roster, I've learned to pull on certain banners and it works out. For instance, my first maxed out character, y'all, if you've been with me for a long time, you know what's up. Acrobat Zombie Taker. I have hunted him down for ages. Still haven't pulled him. However, when this guy came out, I went all in because Undertaker retired. Undertaker was finally inducted into the Hall of Fame. I, as a fan of The Undertaker, who has played a crucial part of my life, from young man to grown man, I was going after him. And the crazy part is, I got close to him, but no cigar. But you know what I did, where I got him from, how I finally unlocked him? There's something that WWE Champions does. As much as you might despise them, there's also things you have to respect. They'll come out with these crazy prize walls that come out of nowhere. Spring Outbreak. Have a chance to get some gear for Zombie Rhea, get some Zombie Triple H, get some shards of certain characters. There was a prize wall that came up. I was able to get the go ahead and buy them. I believe it was actually the RVD prize wall, if I recall correctly. I was able to use those medallions. Boom, bought the shards of Undertaker, and it was done. It was done. There was no way I was going to miss out on. I was missing a few anyway. Went ahead and got him. Took him all the way up to 5-star gold. And to think that a while back, I believe I said Walter, or should I say Gunther, was going to be my first 5-star gold powerhouse. No, ended up being Undertaker. There's no way around it. Only thing I'm waiting on now is to fill his star up. He's fully maxed. Going to fill his star up. Even got went in and put in the work and the investment to go ahead and get his sigil, get that skill plate for him. Wish I could have a legendary Hall of Fame strap for him, but I got a legendary strap that I can't put on him and put that sigil on him, and it's gonna be golden. I just gotta wait. So there's certain characters you go after, and because you care about them, because you like them. Seth Rollins. The luck that I had on this guy. Still don't have all of his gears. But you know what? What a dude held me down. Got me through stuff. Then a character that literally, a $20 in a dream pull. And I was able to get the original, bro. Came through clutch for Faction Boss. And he's one of my favorite characters. There's certain people you just got to learn who to deal with. Shawn Michaels, another guy. Held me down, was what wanted him more than anything. Loved Shawn Michaels. So it's only right that I went after Shawn Michaels. And by going after certain characters, I was able to move up. I was able to build. I even got Lex Luger. You want to know how I got Lex Luger? I got Lex Luger from going after somebody else. From going after Striker RVD. Literally. And the thing was, I wasn't even looking for Luger. Wasn't even looking for him. But I got him. And to top it off, when I pulled Luger, I also got Shelton Benjamin for his submission. So what do you think? Man, there's certain things that just happen in the game. You learn to work with what you got. I thought Batista was going to be my guy. I still have him. I still love him. But then I'm looking at Luger and I'm looking at Batista. That submission is going to be deadly this weekend for this feud. And there's going to be people running some powerful strikers. I'm going to need to balance out if I have to choose. Who am I going to go with? Either Batista or Luger. Y'all already know this. Y'all already know. And we can already look at the buffs of what he's going to get when he goes 5-star gold. Yeah. Sometimes you just got to learn. But the thing is, you end up picking up some people even when you're going after somebody else. I wanted Striker RVD. I got Lex Luger 5-star bronze instead. There's always a gift and a curse when it comes to these games. And I've been able to expand on this, and I've been able to take up characters that I genuinely love and cared about. People that I grew up on that I loved. So even if I don't get Dominic, I got other characters that I'm truly a fan of, and I am grateful for that. Now I get it. Sometimes in order to get these situations, you do have to spend some money. But we've also seen in the past, you can pick up a chase champion for free. You can get lucky on a bag from a milestone reward, or from doing a tour. It is there. It has been proven. You can open up an epic chest, and instead of getting the shards of a character, you get the actual card from feud rewards. It is possible to get solid moves done. The road, I hope they expand on it further. Is the difficulty level there? Yes, it is. Are the requirements there asinine? Yes, they are. But the opportunity will always be there. There's always an opportunity to move forward and get something good and something crucial. Speaking of RVD, I was able to get him. I did what I needed to. I spent money and invested on a specific weekend on a specific character. I had saved a lot of disposable income to invest for certain characters when they showed up. I went after Hall of Fame Taker, and I went after RVD. I was content. I walked away with so many power moves going after RVD. I can't be mad. Think about it. I literally ended up getting the shards to recruit him at 4-star gold. And have just been building him up ever since. Got enough shards for him, did pulls for him, got a lot of good characters from it. I didn't even expect to pull Stevie Ray. Ended up getting a 5-star bronze fuse for Stevie Ray. All for going after RVD. It works out. There's different deals that you can make your money work for you. But at the end of the day, I look at my squad. I look at my crew. I got Raymond Trickster Ray ready to go up. I even got a fuse for Trish. Got a fuse for Trish, and even pulled Hall of Fame Showboat Trish. My roster is solid. My roster is good. Got Mickey James at 5-star bronze. Stevie Ray I literally got Stevie Ray to 4-star gold just to pull. Peep this. I pulled a 5-star bronze fuse of Stevie Ray alongside 5-star bronze Lex Luger, as well as Shelton Benjamin. Okay? The RNG gods bless me. The RNG bless me. I'm pretty rock steady on certain characters in this game. Pretty rock solid. The most I invested in was literally getting what I needed to get Braun at 4, because even though he wasn't the chase, I like Braun Breaker. And I was hoping, because of Braun being in here, I honestly thought with the Steiner brothers being inducted, they would have showed up in this MLC. I was wrong. But it does come a certain point. Even Hall of Fame Brett got him too. Sometimes the banners treat you good, other times not so much. But it's also a point of this. You gotta learn to pick your battles. I got lucky. I was able to recruit Snoop Dogg too. Got a solid strap on him, and he's a fun character. I literally was so taken back by the hate that people gave Snoop Dogg for being a character. Just like I was really disgusted by what I saw people saying and doing when it pertained to Great Khali being revealed. The guy served his purpose. The guy, that's the problem. Too many people are toxic. You despise a human being because of what? Oh, I don't like rap music. I don't care for Snoop Dogg. It doesn't make no sense for Snoop Dogg to be in the game. The guy's one of the biggest individuals, superstars, and of my time, to say the least. A lot of people in the world know who Snoop Dogg is. Just like if you show people a picture of The Rock, they're going to know who The Rock is. He was a spokesperson, an ambassador for WWE. He's related to Sasha Banks. He did an intro for WrestleMania. He had a promo with Hulk Hogan. The guy loves wrestling. There's 2 superstars, celebrities that I would like to see in this game when it's all said and done. And I want to see what people say just because they're in the game. I would love to see a striker, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I would love to see an acrobat, Bad Bunny. Now, if you give Bad Bunny flack for coming into the game and you seen what Bad Bunny has done in the ring, then yeah, you're just hating. But to see the hatred that people have given because Snoop Dogg's in the game, and you can literally see like he was like a grown little kid when he was in the ring posing with Hulk Hogan. I don't know if it's jealousy or just ignorance. I don't know. It could be a mixture of both. And then to see how many people were just so cruel and mean when we got Great Khali. I could say that I'm ashamed to be a part of the community because I've never seen so many people just go evil. Just evil. Because certain people are in the game. The guy was a heavyweight champion. The Great Khali was a world heavyweight champion. And you got a problem with him? It got to the point where, look, the hatred that I saw, the ignorant comments that were made in different Discord servers were so bad, I had to leave some of them because it just made me sit back. It's like, I have hope in mankind, but if I kept on reading that type of negative remarks made, I was going to lose all hope, man, because it just doesn't get me. They do their job. He did his job. And for people to be that mad, that hurt, that he was in the game, when again, look at what's going on with Dominic. Dominic's a tag team champion, former tag team champion, and he's the chase champion. People complain about it, but people still bought the skill plate. People still went out and paid to get Snoop. People still went out to get Ronda and Becky, and they're probably going to go out of their way to get whoever comes out for this final weekend of Melee. You hated on Great Khali. Why? Why? Solid character. Solid champion. Seen people literally go out of their way to take him up to 5-star gold, and people try to blatantly underplay him. And you know what made me think? If you're this hateful towards him being in the game, I really start questioning and being curious of how you really feel about the man if you're that ignorant about the character in the game. It's a turtle's nature to be slow. It's a cheetah's nature to be fast. It is not a human's nature to be good or evil. Those are choices. You're not born good, you're not born evil. You are born with a clean slate. It is your choice how you go about stuff. And to see what people have chosen to say when it comes to certain characters that come into the game, it literally makes me feel some type of way. But I'm not mad. I respect you more because you let me know who it lets me know who you really are. Genuinely allows me to get a scope of who you are. Because if that's not how you really feel, then why portray that way? But if that is how you really feel, I'm grateful to know, so that way I never have to interact with you in person like that. I respect you for being a living person, a living being, and I respect you for being an individual that cares. But just like that Chris Jericho, he said those words, the last two words said it best. If you're going to be that ignorant, belligerent, and wicked towards somebody who's never done nothing to you personally, and you got that kind of feelings about someone from a long distance, I don't even want to question how you feel or what you say or think about someone when they are close to you. But at the end of the day, champions, I'm not going to hold y'all for much longer. This was a longer video than I expected it to be. And you know what? It's not even about the views. It was just a feeling that I felt the need to do something, to say something, to speak on it. Quite frankly, how they went about Dominic, was sad. It genuinely was sad. How they went about things when it came to the layout for these mega superstars, the form Voltron, and the way that they chose to form Voltron, it's highly disgusting. The solo points, the when it comes to weekend content, the the point of getting to where either you commit the time to grind things out to get content, or you have to commit to spending to complete content is a problem. Because guess what? I will never be mad about money because you can always make money, but you can't get your time back. That's another reason why I had to fall back on Champions. Now that I'm back with Phoenix Rises, I'm literally straight up. Look, I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to take care of what I got to do, and then I'm gone. Simple and plain. I got my kids to be with. I got work. I'm not going to sell my soul for an entire weekend to knock out stuff or to hit certain milestones. I'll get to what I can. I'll get to what I'm content with, and then I'm done. I'm not going to burn myself out for a virtual game. And I think a lot of people need to start thinking about that. I'm not worried about the leaderboards like that anymore. I'm happy with wherever we finish out at. I'm not thirsty for rewards. I'm not hopping factions. I'm not doing that. I am here to play the game, enjoy the people that I play alongside, and let the good times roll. At the end of the day, we as individuals, we as players have a choice. You can choose to spend. You can choose not to spend. You can choose to grind hard. You can choose not to grind hard. Just be accountable with what you decide to do. And at the end of the day, as much as you want to hate and harp on Scopely, we all have choices to make. You could despise how they laid out Dominic, but if you chose to invest in any of the characters that came out this week, these past weekends, or you chose to invest in that skill plate, you can't really say too much, because you know yourself. It isn't about what everyone else is saying. The point is, you have to come to terms. You have to live with your decisions, and you have to be accountable. Hold yourself accountable before you try to go holding others accountable. Scopely is a business. Point blank, period. And the only way they make business is if someone decides to invest. And there's no point of you complaining about something if you know that you invested. Just a thought. Because as I mentioned earlier, what they release today, they'll release down the road again. I wouldn't be surprised with how easy it was for people to get Snoop Dogg and Ronda Rousey this past month. I won't be surprised if this upcoming MLC, there's another prize wall similar to how I was able to get zombie shards for Rhea or shards for Hall of Fame Taker. I would not be surprised if we end up having one that offers Snoop Dogg shards as well as Ronda shards, or even Becky shards. I wouldn't be surprised. Certain things hit and certain things stick, and certain things are a miss. That's how it's going to be. But at the end of the day, we as players, we as individuals, we decide how everything's going to go. We decide who we spend on. We decide who we invest in. No more, no less. Am I disappointed with the Dominic? Yes, I am. Is he going to be a monster for those who end up getting all these characters to put them together? Yes, he will. But my question is, how are you going to feel about that character? Because let's be real. This is another thing that's a key pivotal point. Look at my roster right now. I literally do not have that many 5-star golds. And if 6 stars come into play, the same's going to apply. But you know why I have it like this? And I'm choosing to go this way? It's not just the fact of how resources are far in between, but I've chosen wisely who I want to use and who I want to take up because I know I'm going to enjoy using them. I have up to 295 superstars, and only a handful of them I genuinely play with. Daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. So on one side, I could be that guy that's jealous of someone that has multiple 5-star golds. But I'm not. I said a while back in the day, I mentioned the characters that I really like. To have a 5-star gold taker, I'll take that. To like Matt Riddle as well as RVD for reasons of, well, if you know, you know, I'll take that. Shawn Michaels, DX, I'll take that. Seth Rollins, I'll take that. Lex Luger. There was a moment in time where I used to watch the greatest superstars in the 90s and learned about Lex. He's not my cup of tea, but he makes my quality of life playing the game a whole lot easier. Trish isn't my favorite waifu. China is. I got Striker China chilling, but I'm also a couple shards away from getting Hall of Fame China, and she's going to the moon. Got the shards ready and everything. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. I pick and choose. Not everyone has to go up the 5-star gold, y'all. And especially if you're someone who doesn't get real lucky with your resources, I get it. When you do pulls, you get one after the other, spread you thin. Spread you thin. But when you take the time out to look and do the research, instead of always asking, is he good, is she good? YouTube, baby. There's plenty of content out there to cover all the characters that have been released. You'll find out. And on top of that, play with them. There's so many trainer and coaching abilities available now, you can figure it out. You can figure it out without someone making a sarcastic remark about you. Do your research. We have become too entitled, too spoiled to just humble ourselves. And before posting a picture, do some research. You pull the character, look up something. The content creators normally tell you how they feel about a character. You'll see it. Maybe there's a combination. There's so many. I highly doubt. Shout out to Nerds Lab. There's not everyone on the type of grind that Nerd Lab does when it comes to the combinations of trainers and coaches and abilities and best runs. They give you the most efficient runs. But you never know. There could be a couple secret runs and builds for certain characters. And with straps, medals, and the skill plates involved, you could take someone that's dusty and make them great. But it's your choice. It's your choice. Just because of what the majority says does not mean that that's always the way to go. There's always going to be some type of concoction that could literally counter the meta. But it's up to you to decide. It's up to you to decide. But well, with that being said, I've literally been going on for way too long than expected. Long video. Glad I wasn't going to say short, sweet, and brief. Probably rambled a lot. Probably got a lot of y'all upset because it's like, Zeke, you said that like 10 freaking times. Get to the point. End the video. Shut up. Yeah, I'm going to go over and watch Gear Sign, Goldie, Benny, Big Papa Brian, David D, David Boy, Merrick's, Great J Man, Iron Sheik. I beast mode. I pay attention. That's what I love, man. Just here. Dominic was a shame. Solo contest points, milestones, the milestone gaps are a problem. If this, don't be surprised because people have decided to bash Dom, but they still invested so they can get Dom. Don't be surprised if in the next couple MLCs moving forward, that's the formula. We're going to give you a bullcrap champion to chase after, and we're going to release a new skill plate for $300, and you're going to buy it. We're going to drop new characters that y'all been waiting for long overdue. We're going to drop them because we know you're going to spend for them. It's just the truth. We are our own worst enemies. Seen so many people complain about Great Khali, but yet here they are, pulling him, taking him to 5-star gold. So what's that say? What's that say about you? I wish people would sit back and think about that sometimes. What does that say about you? You say one thing, but then you do another thing. What's up with that? I don't know. I go after who I really want. I go after who I really like. I didn't have a Snoop Dogg. I went after Snoop Dogg. It's easy. Could Tech Snoop Dogg get taken out by Acrobat Snoop Dogg or Trickster Snoop Dogg? Well, I mean, Trickster Snoop Dogg has the class advantage, and Acrobat Snoop Dogg is hands down probably, well, yeah, Acrobats is a tough one right now because you got Bionics Austin, then you got Snoop Dogg. But the point is that, yeah, Tech Snoop Dogg can probably get taken out by his other versions and other champions. But I enjoy using Snoop Dogg. Might not be your cup of tea because he's a rapper, not a wrestler. But he's fun. Just like there's people that there's always going to be a debate. Who's the best Hall of Fame unit? Yeah, they're probably going to release somebody more busted. I love a Hall of Fame Taker. Someone might like Hall of Fame Yokozuna. Rick Rude. Bret Hart. Okay? Hulk Hogan. Everyone has different versions. I'm not a Hulk Hogan mark. I'm not a Hulk Hogan fan like that. I like Hollywood Hogan. That's my favorite version of Hulk Hogan. Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I like the NWO. But if I had to choose between Hogan and Randy Savage, I'd go Randy Savage, hands down. I'd rather pull King Macho than pull Hall of Fame Hogan. That's just me. But I'm not mad at the fact that I got a free Santa Claus Hogan. His coaching ability is a monster. More reason for me to invest when Christmas comes around or go to pull on the banner because he benefits and brings so much utility to my roster. Same thing where it comes to between Rock and Austin. I love Rock. If I had my choice, I'd love to get the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. But if I end up going ahead and end up pulling Acrobat Austin, Bionic Redneck, I'm not complaining because I know what he does. I know what he would bring for my roster. It is how it is. Just the same way how I looked at Lex Luger. First, I was going to go all in on Fiend. Then Bradshaw happened. Then when I thought I was okay, I got all the tokens for Bradshaw. He's ready to go up. I pull Lex Luger. It's all about perspective. At the end of the day, it's a game. Game should never feel like a job. Do what you love. Play what you love. Play how you like. But also understand the consequences that come with your actions. Understand and respect what happens with what you are presented. And respect the fact that you have a choice. It's easy to point the finger at somebody else, but take accountability. Be responsible. We as humans, as adults, and children who are becoming teenagers, who are becoming adults, accountability is critical. Take responsibility for your actions. Because at the end of the day, if it's not that good of a game, if you don't really like it, you can always uninstall it. It's not that hard. Will you be hurt? The one excuse that I don't like seeing from people is people literally saying, the only reason why I'm still playing this game is because I spent so much money. Guess what? Okay? You buy a car, you got to maintain it. It's going to cost you money. As soon as you drove it off the lot, the car lost value, right? But you're still going to drive it. Still going to do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, you could also decide. You could trade it. You could sell it. After you made your payments, however you went about it, you could always move on to something else. Same thing applies with WWE champions. And this is also something that people need to realize. If the game is that bad and you're that upset that you spent that much money on something, again, that was your choice. It was your choice. No one put something to you, forced you, peer pressured you to spend the amount of money that you chose. You decided willingly to do what you decided to do. Take accountability. And guess what? I spent mad money on fake Grand Order. Thousands on fake Grand Order. But it got to a point where it's like, you know what? I don't want to play anymore. I uninstalled it. I took that and I understood. When I install this game again, if I chose to, I will not have the progress that I once had. Okay, it is what it is. People need to understand the same thing with champions. You got plenty of ways to link up your account. If you want to stop playing, you can stop playing and come back when you feel needed. And if it isn't good when you come back, you can always leave. If people really care about you, if people are really your friends, if they're really your faction mates and your family, they will love you and respect you all the same. But that's just me, y'all. I'm not looking for likes. I look forward to seeing comments to see who actually watched this video all the way to the end. Felt good to drop a video. I might go do, it's not a might. I will do a more in-depth roster review just because it's been a while. And I know how everyone is. Cover your stuff up. Look, man, there's a couple coin event and contests that are about to come up. My stuff is never going to stay the same. So with that being said, y'all, Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but champions do. I've got nothing but love for each and every single one of you, my beloved hashtag champions fam. It's been a while, long overdue, but the bad guy of WWE champions, Zeke 4-0, will always be here for you. Never say never. And it's not goodbye forever. It might just be goodbye for now. But don't be surprised if I come back around just to say hello. Shout out to all the content creators doing their thing. Shout out to every single one of you who have supported me even in my absence. Shout out to everybody. Phoenix Rises. Mad love to everybody from the fam. James Money, Mima, J-Mac, The One, Big Dad, okay? Shout out to all of you. Seahurst, Zach Crabtree, okay? Yeether. Mad love to my family. Mad love to my people. Shout out to Sid Diamond. Shout out to Showtime. Shout out to everybody. Y'all make my day. Y'all genuinely do. Y'all really do, okay? Mamu Mami, Trev, just mad respect to everybody who's been there for me. Mad love and respect to Carl, my boy Carl, my Kiwi from another mother. Shout out to everybody, man. It's been a good ride. It's been good to be back. And like Taker said, never say never, but let the good times roll. And until next time, y'all, stay tuned.